Now to the southeast of the country next, and a small community of monks in County Waterford are among the hospitality providers hoping to benefit this year from investment in an historic walking trail which runs through some of Ireland's most impressive ancient sites. Hostels, hotels and even a monastery along St Declan's Way, which runs from Cashel in Tipperary to Ardmore in Waterford, are expecting to capitalise on the renewed interest in outdoor pursuits brought about by the pandemic. I've been finding out more. It's the simple act of putting one foot in front of the other, getting away from it all.
The first thing is you step outside materialism. You've clawed your way up the greasy pole, and then one morning you look out at the BMW and the house and everything and you say, well, what does all that mean? And I think all kinds of, whether it's religion or spirituality or whatever, it's a quest for meaning. And I think what most people do is they go on a physical journey, but actually what they're really thinking about, that this is an inner journey.
That's John G. O'Dwyer, who pens a walking column for the Irish Times and who has written several hiking books. We're on St Declan's Way, a pilgrim trail which commemorates a meeting between St Declan of Waterford and St Patrick at the Rock of Cashel 1,500 years ago.
Well, of course, St Declan, according to Waterford people, they would be a little biased, but Waterford people claim that Declan was the first Christian missionary in Ireland, and there's plenty of evidence to support that. And then afterwards, a man came from across the water called Patrick, and he wasn't an Irishman, and he was going around Ireland converting people. So Declan had to see what this was about. Declan travelled up to Cashel and they met. That's how the pilgrim path evolved, and for almost over 1,500 years now, people have been following that tradition, walking from Cashel to Ardmore.
Now that traditional walking trail has been enhanced, properly waymarked, with the expectation that it will bring much needed investment and tourism to the southeast.
The trail passes through about 12 different towns, villages and hamlets. And I use the words villages and hamlets because a lot of it is going through very rural parts of Ireland. And it is helping draw out those very rural areas and opening them up to walkers in ways that driving along in a car will never do.
Gráinne Moynihan from the St Declan's Way Management Committee says walkers are highly sought after visitors.
The walker is an entirely new type of customer. They are people who really look for value for money, yet at the same time they don't want to cut spending on food and on drink. They like to treat themselves at the end of a day after 4 or 5 hours of walking. So they make good business, pilgrims. In general, they are people that are willing to spend.
And that has opened up all sorts of possibilities, with hotels and B&Bs offering unique walking packages. Here's Sinead Cash from Bailey's Hotel in Cashel.
What we are hoping to do with that is bring people to the town. They stay with us. The next morning they have breakfast. We give them a packed lunch. They go off. They do part of the walk, as much or as little as they want or are able to do, and then we collect them that evening. The next morning then they're free to do maybe the next leg or go on to the next town and do it from there.
But it's not just hotels that are hoping to benefit. High up in the Knockmealdown Mountains at Mount Mellery Abbey, the small community of Cistercian monks there can see a benefit too. They are opening a hostel to accommodate hikers on the trail.
Monasteries have always been places of hospitality. And I would see a big similarity really between the walkers and the monks, you know. St. Benedict says monks, their main job is to pray and to seek God, you know. I think walkers and pilgrims they're searching and seeking too, a lot of them. And I think that we search and seek best when we meet others.
That's one of the monks, Father Dennis Luke, who says the revenue generated will help to keep the struggling community of monks going.
Well, it'll certainly bring more footfall to the place, and footfall is money as well. So we need a lot of money to keep this place going. So it will help in that way. I would hopefully see that it would help in a much more important way, that this will be a place where people would come and that they would get some sort of help and space in a very busy world.
And that space, that antidote to modern life, is something more people are seeking, according to Dr. Phil Brennan of Waterford Camino Tours, who brings visitors to the trail for an experience that he says goes beyond physical exercise.
To get to Ardmore from Cashel is not easy. It's a tough grind. It's some days you're walking over a mountain, or you know, but it's worth it. It draws on a courage that maybe you never knew you had. I also think it gives people just that space just to process. Whatever it is, it could be a career choice that you have to make. It could be something that's going on in your own home situation. It could be a hidden pain that you've never really come to terms with. But the sheer task of walking and sharing, by the time you're finished, by the time you've walked 120k, somehow unknowingly nearly, you have a different perspective on that.
Sounds idyllic, doesn't it? That was Dr. Phil Brennan of Waterford Camino Tours ending that report. We're back live